I like it because I saw a lot of people leaving, and when they saw me coming in, they were like, "Oh no, we're not going anywhere." I know, I see you. Thank you so much for being here, everyone. This is an absolute honor for me to be here today and to be speaking to you about. I don't know what I'm speaking to you about because I'm being serious. I have so much to talk to you about that. I'm going to take you on a bit of a roller coaster today, and I hope you don't mind. I know it's the end of the day, you've been through a lot, but I want to take you to places where perhaps you've never been, and also take your mind to perhaps places it's never gone, and also your emotions. I'm going to make you happy, and I'm going to make you sad, and I'm going to make you think, because we need to do these kind of things, we really do, and especially in the industries that all of us work in. You're in risk, my goodness, I feel like I'm in risk every day of my life. I think all of us are, we really are. So I sort of want to take you beyond the single story narrative. And I played with the whole title of this conference, Future-Proofing South Africa. And how do we as individuals future-proof South Africa? It's one of the most difficult questions because all of us want to help, all of us want to do something. But what do we do? How do we do this? I don't know. Let's figure it out together. So for those of you that don't know me, no, it's not AI generated. I have been there for as long as I can remember. I have been hosting morning television for 21 years. I can't believe it. So it's been 21 years of a lot of stories, of a lot of news events, of trying to encapsulate a very dynamic country that is a lot. My goodness, it's a lot. I mean, you just think about every day, there's never a dull moment in South Africa. And that's very much so the country we live in. And the ride that we take every single day we wake up. And I'm not alone, because I know that you're with me. That's a little bit about who I am, but I don't think I need to tell you if you did a great job of introducing me to you today. So why are we here? I mean, that's $1 million question, because it does seem right now, and I honestly do believe it, that the world is a very, very dark place. It just seems so hard to find things that are light-hearted, things that make us happy, things that make us proud, things that lift our souls, because when you truly do sit down and talk to people, you realize that things are really, really tough. Now, I wake up every single morning, and this is what I do. I know you do a lot, but this is my day, every single day. Activities within the South African National Defence Force.
Now, the organisation operates services, bridges, and other infrastructures
Yeah, it's hard. It really is hard. But that is our world. That is the environment that we're living in. And it's incredibly difficult. And I must say, one of the things that really upsets me is that we don't stop. I don't stop. I don't know about you guys, but we don't stop with our cell phones. We don't stop with social media. We don't stop for 1 minute looking, seeing. I mean, I see my children on these devices. I know what I do for a living, so I have to be in touch with news all the time. It's what I do. I need to be. But do I need to be this involved? Do I really need to be this involved in news? And my feeling is that we're living in this digital age right now. We really are. And the world feels more broken than ever. But perhaps it's not worse. Perhaps we just hear everything everywhere all at once. I remember sitting the other day with my nephew, and He's 23 years old at the moment, and of course, how all kids are sitting on Twitter all the time, looking at what Trump's saying, looking at what's happening in Gaza, looking at Ukraine, looking at the streets of America, looking at South Africa, what we are doing, the violence, the crime, the criminality. You saw just some of the stories, we see that. And no matter where it happens in the world, we are taken there, we are transported there. But there's one thing I can tell you, is that the world is no more evil than it was in previous times. The world is not worse than it was before. If you go back to world wars, like World War II for instance, there's numbers flying around that approximately 70 million people were killed during World War II. The corruption, the hatred that existed then, the world being torn apart, the way people used to speak. These are things that have always been there, but the problem is for us now, in this generation, we never stop consuming this information. And it's unhealthy. It's not good. Because what it does to us, and I want to show you this video, and I didn't know how I was going to fit it into this presentation, but it's something that I felt I needed to show you guys. But because mental health is something that we ignore so much, and I can promise you, most of the problems associated with mental health is what we see in front of us all the time, is that no matter where you are, you cannot switch off. If you are in bed, you're still looking at this. The moment you wake up in the morning, if you have a free moment now, you grab your phone and you see, he jumped out of a window in a hotel in Paris. But there was no window in the hotel. You know what I'm saying? It's like, and then you go and then you go deeper, and then it's like, let's go to Twitter, let's go to TikTok. I wonder if there's a video. I wonder if the body's been shown yet. Guys, we are sick. We're sick in the head. And social media has made us this way because it's so accessible. And it's constant, it's constant, it's constant. Do you ever stop? Do you ever stop and think what you're doing to yourself? I want you to watch this video, particularly guys. I want you to watch this video. This hits, this hurts. This is going to take you to a very dark place, but a place that I hope makes you think, because at the end of the day, what we're doing to ourselves is dangerous. And we'll talk after this.
It's exciting, isn't it?
Yeah. When was the last time you checked in with somebody? We're in this world, and it's very tough. It's very tough. But we're in this together. And the problem is that we take each other for granted. We're so stuck looking at things, worrying about things, crunching numbers, crunching risk management, or whatever it is that we do. I'm in a world where I'm worrying about somebody that's so far away from me in a devastating news story. But right in front of me are my children, my husband, and my family, and I'm ignoring them because I'm busy looking at my device. And am I really asking them, how are you? How are you doing? How was your day? What are things like at work, or the person I sit next to? Because we just need to ask that. And you'd be amazed, because that's how we change narratives of stories. This didn't need to end that way. It could have ended differently, but it's a very powerful message. We don't realize what we're doing to ourselves. And we do this because things are getting hard. It's very hard to be this word, which I hate this word. We always talk about South Africans being resilient. I'm tired of being resilient, but it's okay. We're famous for it. I think we're world famous for being resilient. But it's okay. We are. It's resilient. But this is our reality every single day. However, and this is where I'm going to freak things a little bit for you, because I've taken you on that roller coaster I told you I would take you on. I'm bringing you right down, but I need to build you up now. Because we are down. Right now we are down. But how do we build ourselves up? And I'll tell you what we need to start doing. We have to show South Africa in a different light. We are not only about corruption. We are not only about crime. And we are not only about collapsing, okay? If we keep talking about that, if we keep showing ourselves as that, the world is going to believe it. And we are going to believe it about ourselves. And when you go home to your beautiful house, and you drive a wonderful car, and you sit in this amazing convention center with, by the way, the most magnificent sound. Guys, wow, amazing. We are, thank you, we are so privileged. This country is magnificent. Stop digging your head into the bad news only. It's what I do, and I know good news doesn't say, that there are so many good things that we are doing. There are so many companies that are excelling. We are amazing. We're an amazing nation. We need to sell ourselves as such. I open up social media and I don't even know what country they're talking about. That's not the country I live in. I live in a completely different country. And I need to stop this. We need to stop this. And we need to look up and see things as they are and speak as they are. When I walked into this room today and I saw this red glowing light with the big 5 and this magnificent country, I was like, hang on, this is what I know to be our country, not what we're reading and seeing all the time. I did a course recently, and the only reason you're going to know this course is I'm going to tell you because I did it through the University of Cambridge. Yes, I did it. In the spare time I don't have, I studied effective communication. Like, I don't know how to do that. But actually I didn't. Because I came across people that could communicate in a way that I didn't even know that was possible. And I've learned so much. One of the most incredible, and she's not new to us. She's not new to us. For me, she is unbelievable. Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie. You know her? I know you know her. And if you haven't heard this full TED talk, I'm going to play you a tiny snippet. And everything I'm talking about is in this talk, okay? It is about a single narrative and how dangerous that single narrative is. And we're falling into it. I just want you to listen to this little part of this single narrative that she refers to in this talk. This is from 2009. And man, oh man, what a talk. I urge you to listen to the rest of it, but take a listen.
I come from a conventional middle-class Nigerian family. My father was a professor. My mother was an administrator. And so we had, as was the norm, living domestic help who would often come from nearby rural villages. So the year I turned 8, we got a new houseboy. His name was Fide. The only thing my mother told us about him was that his family was very poor. My mother sent yams and rice and old clothes to his family. And when I didn't finish my dinner, my mother would say, "Finish your food. Don't you know people like Fide's family have nothing?" So I felt enormous pity for Fide's family. Then one Saturday, we went to his village to visit. And his mother showed us a beautifully patterned basket made of dyed raffia that his brother had made. I was startled. It had not occurred to me that anybody in his family could actually make something. All I had heard about them was how poor they were, so that it had become impossible for me to see them as anything else but poor. Their poverty was my single story of them. Years later, I thought about this when I left Nigeria to go to university. in the United States. I was 19. My American roommate was shocked by me. She asked where I had learned to speak English so well and was confused when I said that Nigeria happened to have English as its official language. She asked if she could listen to what she called my tribal music and was consequently very disappointed when I produced my tape of Mariah Carey. She assumed that I did not know how to use a stove. What struck me was this: she had felt sorry for me even before she saw me. Her default position toward me as an African was a kind of patronizing, well-meaning pity. My roommate had a single story of Africa, a single story of catastrophe. In this single story, there was no possibility of Africans being similar to her in any way, no possibility of feelings more complex than pity, no possibility of a connection as human equals. I must say that before I went to the US, I didn't consciously identify as African. But in the US, whenever Africa came up, people turned to me, never mind that I knew nothing about places like Namibia. But I did come to embrace this new identity, and in many ways I think of myself now as African, although I still get quite irritable when Africa is referred to as a country, the most recent example being my otherwise wonderful flight from Lagos 2 days ago, in which there was an announcement on the Virgin flight about their charity walk in India, Africa, and other countries. So after I had spent some years in the US as an African, I began to understand my roommate's response to me. If I had not grown up in Nigeria, and if all I knew about Africa were from popular images, I too would think that Africa was a place of beautiful landscapes, beautiful animals, and incomprehensible people fighting senseless wars, dying of poverty and AIDS, unable to speak for themselves, and waiting to be saved by a kind, white foreigner. I would see Africans in the same way that I, as a child, had seen Fide's family.
Yeah, stop underselling ourselves. Because what we are saying, the world is seeing. The more we speak, the more we become. Does this look like a suffering place? Does this look like what the world thinks Africa looks like? We need to stop it. We need to future-proof our South Africa. This is our South Africa. It doesn't belong to anybody else. We live here. We were born here. We work here. We fight to stay here. I don't have another option. I don't want another option. My children love this country and I will fight for it. And the only way to do that is to do what you do the best you possibly can. And stop the narrative of looking for the negatives in this country. There is so much to be proud of, so much to be